morning!
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
And welcome to day 11. So yesterday I received a comment on one of my videos about Rick Scott and Medicare and Social Security. And that's interesting to me because it was something that I hadn't considered. So it was important for me to read that and understand. That's very important for me. I want to be able to understand and see other perspectives, right? It is very important for me to get all the information I can, and usually I need outside sources to help me with that, right? That's why your guys' comments are very important, right? I don't get a lot of them, but the ones that I do get, I really, really appreciate, even the ones that are kind of mean, but that's okay. So this comment says, Rick Scott wrote the party platform that specifically ends all federal programs every 5 years, including Medicare and Social Security. He asks, do you trust the Democrats to reauthorize every 5 years? Because I don't trust the Republicans to do it. Now, that's a good question. I don't think I trust either party to reauthorize anything every 5 years.
I don't trust anybody, including you. I love you. But, you know, there's not a lot of people I trust.
I think something has to be done, for sure. And from what I can tell, according to this clip that I have,
You've been asked a million different ways about Social Security. You know the Democrats want to bring this issue up. Sunsetting the program every 5 years for renewal. Why do that? Why put Social Security into sort of the political arena every 5 years? Why put seniors through that? Why do you think that's a good idea?
I have no interest in changing the Medicare program. I want to make sure we preserve the benefits of Medicare and Social Security. I don't know one Republican wants to change that. In my plan, I said we have got to start being honest with the public that what's our plan? Medicare is going bankrupt. Social Security is going bankrupt. Here's what the Democrats did. They just cut $280 billion. Every Democrat that's running right now in the Senate, okay, and those in the House, they all voted to cut $280 billion out of Medicare, which is going to cut life-saving drugs. They did this.
You know, you're playing a math game. You are playing a math game there, Senator.
He didn't pay his taxes.
Senator, you're playing a math game here. You're playing a math game. They didn't cut anything on Medicare. It's cost savings having to do with the prescription drug benefit. Look, I understand that you want to call it something else, but
Chuck, if you cut spending in Medicare, it's probably going to impact the ability for somebody to provide things. When you cut out $280 billion, there's a life-saving drug that your mom will not get. That's what's going to happen.
All right, I will remember this.
Chuck,
when you guys cut the Medicare cut, isn't a cut.
$280 billion out of Medicare reduction is going to cut life-saving drugs. That's bad for citizens. It's real simple.
That nobody really has a clear set plan for anything yet. Yeah. Also, so there's a couple of problems. One, there's no way anything is going to get passed at all. They need support from the Democrats. Everybody would have to come up with a plan together. And honestly, I think the best plan would be to make the Social Security tax flexible, as in it goes up with inflation and it goes down. They can raise it whenever they need to raise it to keep Social Security and Medicare viable. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anywhere else you can do it, because the fact is birth rates are going down. And obviously I have supporting documentation for both the birth rates right here. And then I also have supporting documentation for, the Social Security and Medicare are going to go bankrupt. That's what they keep saying. I hear Republicans say it all the time. And according to Rick Scott right there, he just said Democrats cut money to Medicare to lower prescription drug prices. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But the entire narrative has been Republicans were the ones cutting Social Security and Medicare. So I'm going to need to fact check that, and I will do that right now. But see, the point is, I want to take in as much information as possible, especially when it comes to this. That's just my proposal, right? If I was president, which I hope to be one day, that would be my suggestion to Congress. Now, the president doesn't have that power, right? The president doesn't have the power of the purse. Congress does. That would be my suggestion, would be to make the Social Security tax and Medicare tax flexible. All right, it goes up and down with inflation. Right, so it behooves the government to, if you want that tax lower, you're just going to have more babies. Right, people have to pay into it in order to pay out. Right, you have to have enough money to pay the people that need to take it out. People are living longer, so they're taking it out longer. There are less working class Americans. Our birth rates are dropping. This problem is only going to persist. So the only way to fix that specific problem would be to have a tax that compensates. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? You're just going to have to reallocate money, or you're going to have to figure out how to keep the program from going bankrupt. You got to restructure it somehow. And this proposal is just one of several proposals they had. Right? So while I agree with your point that I don't think Congress should be re-cementing Medicare and Social Security every 10 years, or 5 years rather, I also know that there is something that has to be done, right? Something has to change, right? And the other comments that I've been getting a lot are kind of referring to me as a Trumper. And that is confusing to me. I've never really been a fan of Trump. I don't mind him. He did all right as president. He's kind of annoying. It's like there was a disaster every freaking week, every time he'd tweet something, or, he'd say something, he'd make some rash decision, and I would get annoyed, sure, but, he wasn't that bad, honestly. I don't think he's right for the Republican Party. I think if the Republican Party wants to be successful, they need to put somebody else up there at the top. He's doing a terrible job. He's bringing down everybody. He is too polarizing of a figure. Go on. I mean, the reason I tend to lean right isn't because of Trump. I don't like Trump that much, but I do not like the idea of mutilating children. So, that's one thing. And then I also don't like the idea of just, the fact is, Joe Biden has done almost nothing right. I can't support that party. I just can't. Not right now. Maybe in the future. I'm always open to the idea. If you can convince me that they're doing a good job, hey, whatever, man. I want what's best for the country. That's all I want. Happy Veterans Day to all my fellow veterans out there. It's important that we really take a minute and, honor those who've served. That sounds self-indulgent, sure, but I mean, everybody else. All right, that's it. That's all I got.